Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. You know, I was thinking this morning, I was actually on my way to get me a sweet tea. Nothing like a sweet tea. And I was thinking, you know, I've been getting a lot of comments on the channel about why I decided to lift a two-wheel drive truck. I mean, you would think that it's almost like sacrilege, right, to raise a two-wheel drive truck. And I don't understand. I never really heard that before. I didn't know that it mattered, you know, whether you lifted a two-wheel drive truck or a four-wheel drive truck or whatever. Who cares, right? But it seems there are a lot of people that wonder why I lifted a two-wheel drive truck. I mean, should you lift a two-wheel drive truck? First of all, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I lifted my truck. And the first one is to personalize it, to make it mine. You know, I have wanted a lifted truck for years. Years. I can't even remember how long it's been. I've just never done it. And I thought it would be fun. It would be fun to lift, right? So when I got down here to Texas, you know, I used to live in Ohio, and we had snow and ice and crappy weather and whatever in a winter. But we don't have that here in Texas. I mean, right now it's, late, mid, whatever, October, and it's pushing 75 degrees. I mean, I don't need a four-wheel drive for weather, for sure. Unless, you know, you might say that you needed four-wheel for heavy rain. I don't know. When we get that, which isn't frequently here, until lately, it seems. So I wanted to personalize the truck. I've always wanted a lifted truck, and it's just something I wanted to do. Number 1 reason. Number 2, in order to personalize the truck the way that I wanted it, you know, different wheels, bigger tires, you have to lift it, in my opinion. I mean, you certainly wouldn't want to put little dinky tires on a, you wouldn't want to put giant tires, rather, on a truck that just sits normal height. First of all, they probably wouldn't fit. And secondly, it just wouldn't look good. So in order for me to achieve the look that I wanted, in other words, personalize the truck, I had to lift it, in my opinion. Number 3, better visibility. It never hurts to be higher up in the air. You know, you can see around other vehicles, other stuff. Especially here in Texas. You know, it seems that lifted giant trucks are the rule here. Everywhere you go, there are big lifted vehicles. Trucks, SUVs, you name it. I haven't seen a lifted Prius yet, but I don't know. It's probably going to happen. So you get so much better visibility the higher you are up in the air, you know, and it certainly makes it safer to drive, I think. So would you say it was, you know, a reason to lift a truck is for safety reasons? Yeah, probably not. But it is a byproduct of lifting the truck. So I'm going to go with it. Reason number 3. Reason number 4. And this is something that's specific to the area, I think. And I've thought about this, and it might sound a little bit crazy, but heavy rain, deep water. You know, here it seems when we get rain, we get a lot of rain at one time. I mean, it pours. And when that happens, there's not great drainage here. So it tends to get deep in spots, depending on where you're at. And while I would argue that probably a normal four-wheel drive truck, or even these days a normal two-wheel drive truck, because most of them are pretty darn high up in the air, would suffice to get you through water. Having one that's lifted will work out even better. I mean, the higher you are, the better, right? You don't want to be driving through a foot of water in a vehicle that's sitting, you know, 1.5 feet off the ground. So I think, again, from a bit of a stretch, but a safety concern, having a lifted truck certainly gets you up above any high water that you might have in the area. Reason number 5, and this is the one that I've answered a lot of times. You know, a lot of people rather have, they just seem disgusted, you know, that that you would lift a two-wheel drive truck, that you have to have a four-wheel drive truck. It just doesn't make any sense. And again, for me in this area, I don't need four-wheel drive unless I was a big off-roader or there were a lot of off-road parks or stuff like that where you could, you know, go run around in the mud and things like that. I don't know what you do with a four-wheel drive. And the second thing that I'd mention along with that, and this has been true for me in every truck that I've had, and every truck that I've had, I think, has been four-wheel drive for the most part. Maybe one or two weren't, but most every one I had was four-wheel drive, and I might have used it, again, up north in the weather, maybe one or two times in the winter, but that's it. So I would argue that most of the people out there, and this is probably, or these are probably most of the people who are making the comments, that have four-wheel drive trucks, never use them. You know, they're driving around in their big, giant, lifted four-wheel drive trucks, but they don't ever use the four-wheel drive. So other than having a button or a switch or whatever inside the truck that can make all four wheels turn, they don't use them at all. So I would argue that, again, it's not necessary in most cases, unless you're a big off-roader or you live in an area that gets tons of bad winter weather. You don't need a four-wheel drive. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't achieve the look that you want or the mod that you want by lifting a two-wheel drive truck. And besides, a two-wheel drive truck is cheaper. And there's less that you have to do as far as worrying about suspension issues when you're lifting a two-wheel drive truck. I mean, I don't have the drivetrain for the four-wheel drive side of it because it is just a two-wheel drive truck. So those are a few reasons why I decided to lift a two-wheel drive truck. Truth be told, had I wanted to, or if I was really concerned about what everybody else thinks, I certainly could have bought a four-wheel drive truck. I'd probably be kicking myself right now thinking, why did I do that? Why did I spend that extra money and have to worry about the extra suspension concerns in lifting a truck when you have four-wheel drive when I don't need a four-wheel drive? Would have been a pretty sad day, I guess, if I'd have bought a four-wheel drive just because of maybe what everybody else would say. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, talk about that a little bit. I've been getting a lot of comments, mostly negative, actually, and not negative in a troll-like way, just negative in a, I just don't understand why you did this. The world won't end. I'm here to assure you that the world will not end because you lift a two-wheel drive truck. And honestly, unless somebody knows me or maybe walks up to the window and tries to see in or crawls underneath the truck, I guess, you're never going to know that this truck is not four-wheel drive. It doesn't have any badging on it that says two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, so you're never going to know. So if you're really that concerned about driving around in a two-wheel drive truck that you've lifted, take the badging off. Or put a four-wheel drive badge on. Nobody will ever know the difference. Anyway, don't let people try to tell you what to do. If you've got a two-wheel drive truck and you want to lift it, go for it. Nobody will ever know the difference. As usual, appreciate you guys watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Let me know what you think. And if you really are against lifting a two-wheel drive truck, give me some good reasons why. Not just, I'm an idiot because I lifted a two-wheel drive truck. I mean, really? Come on. This isn't third grade. We'll catch you next time on the web. Have a good day. Bye.